that have been happening in Nepal.
Yeah.
You guys see
They're
it?
trying to censor them.
We have a clip of this.
That's a parliament building they burned down.
आक्रोश देखिए और घंटों से ये आक्रोश चल
I
रहा
don't see
है
it here, but apparently they were wearing their uniforms and stuff.
पूरा संसद भवन परिसर बर्बाद हो गया
Mainly like Swedish. Yeah.
यहाँ से हटने को तैयार नहीं है
People are dancing.
Yeah. You see in the...
वहाँ पर देखिए जश्न मनाया जा रहा है और समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि वो क्या रहा है
Yeah, right here. This is the... Some members of parliament. No, it's members of parliament. They're being airlifted out of there. Right?
Mission Impossible.
Imagine that happening here.
Wow.
That would never happen. That's what parliament...
Yo, when I first saw this, I thought it was AI.
Really?
Yeah.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah, they lit this whole thing on fire too. Imagine that happening here. Even if there was a protest, imagine them like airlifting. Like they would get stuff under control pretty quickly. You would hope, right?
Dude,
The
what
government.
happened? Like, what are they
They
protesting?
overthrew the government.
Yeah, it's like a Gen Z led protest. Basically, what happened was that there was this thing that started trending. It was like Nepal kids, where like a bunch of these politicians, wealthy kids were posting things online about how lavish their lifestyle is. And so a bunch of people started posting things on social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, on X about like how that's wrong and stuff. A bunch of these Gen Z kids, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then what they did was they banned social media,
Yeah,
right? And once they banned social media, these kids went nuts,
yeah.
right? So then they started
They just banned it because they didn't want to see these Nepal kids.
They banned like 26 different platforms. Their claim was that they hadn't registered for the new rules under their Ministry of Communication and Technology. Essentially, the rules were that they had to hire locally and pay taxes.
Oh,
That's what the government was claiming, but we don't know if they're using that to whatever.
Yeah, it was a part of this legislation that they're trying to prevent misinformation and hate speech. That was their whole
okay.
take on it,
Censorship.
right? And argue,
Wow.
censorship tool. So then these kids they protest,
Yeah.
right? And then once they start protesting, eventually they lift the ban.
Yeah.
It gets lifted, kids don't stop.
Pretty quickly they
Right.
lifted the
Yeah,
ban.
and
I
the
think a couple
mob,
days.
like the mob is just like rolling now.
Yeah.
So they don't stop, and then they started talking about government corruption. They started talking about what were they talking about? Oh, the economic,
Nepotism.
right? Nepotism wasn't the only one. It was like there's no economic opportunity, right?
Yeah.
They're saying that it's pretty much stagnant, right? Which is it's across the globe. It's like that,
Yeah.
right? But I think youth unemployment in Nepal, I was reading up on it, is like around 20%. I think overall unemployment was like around 12.5%, something like that, as of 2024.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So then you see like when you have stagnation in terms of like the economy, what's going to happen, right? People are there's no opportunity,
For sure.
right? So, and then you're going to see people online posting and bragging about how great their life is.
Yeah.
You're going to start to get mad, especially if they're politicians
Yeah.
and the politicians' kids.
Yeah.
Right. And like, so the people that run your country are rich
Yeah.
and you're not.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. So then people get angry and now you're protesting.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like the protest turns from a censorship protest into a anti-elitist protest.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like it starts off that way. Because imagine that happening here. Even imagine them trying to censor a group or kids get really mad, right? And they start protesting. If it was the state's National Guard, that's shit's getting shut down, right? Imagine that doesn't happen. You overthrow the government. You burn down the parliament building. They're airlifting your ministers out of there. You're winning. They're not going to stop, right? That country's like, they need to get that under control.
Yeah.
I could never picture. Imagine Donald Trump getting airlifted out because he's so scared of what's happening around him.
It's not going to happen.
They would shut that down right
this,
away.
Yeah, this isn't Nepal, bro.
Yeah.
So that's not gonna happen. But like it's the whole thing that to me, I agree. Like you're right to protest, and I agree with protesting censorship, and even if you're anti-elitist, all of that's fine, right? None of that shit was peaceful. Burning down buildings,
Yeah.
right. The Parliament building is one thing. I think they burned down like the Hyatt and
Their
a couple of these
houses
hotels.
too. Even these ministers,
Did
their houses.
anyone pass away?
Yeah, I think over
Nine-
50 people, 100 people, something like that.
When I read it, 19 people were killed in the protest.
I think 19 protesters, I think
Yeah.
50 people. That's what I read. were killed, and I think hundreds or at least 100 were injured, right? And then countless damaged property, right? But I think the wildest part of this whole thing is the prime minister, he immediately steps down.
And then he resigns.
Right? He resigns, and then this lady gets elected, right? Their first female prime minister, right?
Okay.
She doesn't get elected. She's appointed by the president, right?
Okay.
So the way that these kind of countries work, the president is just ceremonial, right?
Okay.
And he's kind of supposed to be the head of state, but like the prime minister is the person who runs the government kind of situation.
Yeah.
So the president appoints an interim prime minister, right? But how this Gen Z generation kind of chose this lady is pretty wild. So basically this lady, this entire thing happened on Discord. So
Really?
yeah, so this lady, she out of here. After widespread protests and the banning of major social media platforms, young protesters flocked to Discord to coordinate, deliberate, and even vote on who should lead the country next. The Youth Against Corruption server, which quickly ballooned to more than 130,000 members, hosted multiple polls over the past week. On September 10th, the group reached a consensus. Sushila Karki, Nepal's former chief justice, was chosen as interim leader. More than 7,700 votes were cast before Karki crossed the 50% threshold, reported South China Morning Post.
Yeah.
The very next day, she met with Nepal's president and army chief general, underscoring how this online... Yeah, so basically, they elected her
on Discord.
On Discord.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild to think that there's...
What the hell is Discord? This is the second time hearing about
I
it.
didn't want to ask, but
like a
I don't know what it is.
It's some app, some platform.
Social?
It's like Reddit.
No,
It's more like Reddit, right?
it's kind of like Reddit. It's like a platform. I think mainly like gamers use it, like crypto. It's in the crypto world where a lot of people use it, investors and
In
stuff use
crypto,
it.
it's huge.
Right. So like the weird thing about this entire thing is then if you look at it from a bigger, from a zoomed out lens,
Yeah.
right, you get a country who's functioning. There's a prime minister not functioning, corruption, all that stuff's going on. But there's a prime minister one day, right, and there's a government or supposedly that's going on, right. Something happens, a protest happens, they knock the government resigns, and then these kids elect their own person, basically in what you can compare to like a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They elect a new prime minister and this guy appoints him. That's wild, man.
But I guess it's because like the government is just so afraid of the country now. Like they just have to kind of listen.
Yeah. At
they're
that point.
definitely like they overthrew the government. There's no public trust there.
Bro,
I don't even know where you go from there.
that happens in these countries, right? Like I think Sri Lanka, didn't their leader or whatever he was like run away for like 7-8 weeks?
Oh my god.
And then he randomly comes back. He like went to like Bangkok or something. I can't even
People
remember.
were like they went into his house. They were like sleeping on his bed
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
in his tent and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild to live in like those kind of places. Like we should be thankful that we live in a country like this, man. And you don't live in a place like that. So much chaos.
But now
absurd.
Nepal has elections scheduled for March 2026.
That'll probably happen in a WhatsApp group, right?
Hopefully they get that situation under control. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But some more geopolitical stuff.